This is a video of a nurse for Doctors Without Borders, which is just, I mean, you talk about an organization where these people sign up and the guts it takes to do what these people do is unbelievable. Here's an American nurse who's back from Gaza talking about her experience treating patients in an evacuation zone at a hospital that she expected to be hit with an airstrike. Here she is talking to Anderson Cooper. He asks her, would you go back to that hospital? Would you go back to Gaza to treat more people? Here's her answer.
Would you go back to Gaza?
In a heartbeat. In an absolute heartbeat. My heart is in Gaza. It will stay in Gaza. The Palestinian people that I worked with, both our national staff in the office as well as my staff at Indonesia Hospital, were some of the most incredible people I've ever met in my life. When everything went off and we got the notice to move south of Wadi Gaza, I was texting my nurses at Indonesia Hospital and I said, we lost a nurse weekend one. He was killed when the ambulance outside the hospital was blown up. And I was texting them when we got the evacuation orders and I said, did any of you move south? Did any of you get out? Like, are any of you coming down this way? And the only answer I got was, this is our community. This is our family. These are our friends. If they're going to kill us, we're going to die saving as many people as we can. And I said, if I can ever have an ounce of the heart that you have, I will die a happy person.
Okay, let me just pause it for a second. She says, if they're going to kill us, we will die together. She's talking in this interview. If you didn't know the context of this interview, if you just saw this interview not knowing what war she's talking about, not knowing anything about the circumstance, you would assume that they are going to kill us are our adversary as the United States or CNN's adversary. You would assume she's talking about an evil, hostile power. Why should a nurse with Doctors Without Borders be worried about being killed by who? Them, they. But who are they in this case? No, they are our allies. We sent $14 billion to they so that they can terrorize people like this. I mean, just when you think about how sick that is, how incredible that is. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and the fact that you've got, Anderson Cooper is not known for his moral stance. If you remember back when AOC stood for something, his interview with her was one of the most disgusting displays I've ever seen, because you're a fucking Vanderbilt, man. And AOC at that time is talking about healthcare and socialism, and he is talking like she's Pol Pot. I mean, he the horror on his face and the disgust. Hang on, so what exactly are you saying? And you've got him sitting there, giving her not only this platform, but giving her no pushback. That's part of what's been so remarkable, because figures like Anderson Cooper, I mean, they're masters of controlling the narrative and the framing and cutting people off when they go in the direction that doesn't accord with what their overlords want said. This thing, I've never seen anything like this. I've really never seen anything like this, where the media does. Usually, the media is not really responsive to public opinion. Right, I mean, that's a big part of why they are held in such low regard at this point. I mean, over on MSNBC, I guess we're going to cover that on a Friday, where Katie Tur was interviewing an Israeli official and giving him a lot of pushback about everything he was saying about what's going on there. I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen establishment goons like Anderson Cooper not just go along with what's coming out of a Democratic White House, ever.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Let's let her go on.
I will die a happy person. They were incredible. I would like to send out a reminder that there are civilians seeking shelter there, and that my doctors and nurses didn't leave out of loyalty to their community. And I know that there is an idea being pushed right now that anyone that stayed behind is going to be considered some kind of a threat. And I want to remind people that the people that stayed behind are heroes. The people that stayed behind they know they're going to die, and they're choosing to stay behind anyway.
You're talking about doctors, nurses in the hospital.
I wake up every morning and I send out a text message and I ask, are you alive? And every night before I go to sleep, I send another message and says, are you alive?
Well, Kelly, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, nothing I can really say that wouldn't piss off my bosses too much, but wow.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
It just seems like this is just too fucking much. It's just too much for everybody, except Douglas Murray, apparently. This is something I might pitch for Friday. I haven't finished it yet, but there was a very interesting interview I caught half of before the show of Pierce Morgan and Douglas Murray. And I think what a guy like Douglas Murray doesn't realize, not to get too off topic, is that he's undermining his own argument, because by taking the position he's taking, he is basically proving everyone who said that people who make the cases that he makes regarding modern academia are just Western chauvinists who hate brown people. You're proving them all right. You're proving them all right. You're proving that, yes, you're just a Western chauvinist who hates other cultures. I mean, honestly, as somebody I considered perhaps, a William F. Buckley of his generation, it's very disappointing to see how just absolutely insane his and all of these people.
Oh, yeah.
There are quite a few people in that lane that I've always on the show said, yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of this cultural critique. I don't agree with a lot of their solutions, and there are things I think they go too far on, but there's some overlap with what I like, Marr, for example. And they've all just been unmasked in this event as, in the end, just being Western chauvinists. Like you really never believed live and let live. You never really meant it when you said, no, I respect these cultures, but at the same time, I think we've gone too far in arguing that our culture is uniquely bad. No, that's not what you meant. You actually meant that you think the West is superior and has the right. Any country that you read as Western has the right to impress what you see ultimately as inferior cultures. You denied it before, but you can't deny it now.
Please clap.